draft
Yeah.
underway with a Trundle and an Udyr as well.
Yeah, I think this is interesting so far. I knew Udyr's pretty busted. I think it's going to be top lane Udyr for sure. And I like seeing Vlad a lot. Vlad's difficult to play into, and I think he's in a very good position right now. It's always fun to Ghost Flash and one pop half of the team for sure. I
Yeah,
don't love the LeBlanc into it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. It's something that, you think of a burst mage into a healing mage, not the kind of matchup you're looking usually pick the burst mage into, but perhaps Awe has something else up their sleeves. Last pick in the first half of the draft for this team. What are you expecting them to pick here? Oh, never mind.
Rel,
They already
okay.
picked it. It's a
Yeah.
Rel.
All right. Ariri loves Rel. I was gonna actually say Rel, believe it or not. So I like Rel. I think Rel's not in a terrible spot, and Brahm's a good answer to Rel. They're I think Wet Team looks a lot more cohesive right now. They have a better overall draft so far. The LeBlanc's really throwing me off with Rel and Udyr.
So we'll have to see how the rest of the draft plays out. But what I'm thinking now, and this could be a very obscure thought, is what they're going to do is the Rel's going to tag the LeBlanc, and she's going to jump as far into the back line as she can, and then Rel will E and immediately stun everyone on Wet's team. That's the crazy play. That's the thing I can see working maybe with this LeBlanc.
Oh, and we have Trolling You on AD carry, not a mid. Quick little update to that.
Ah,
So
okay.
that is not. I think Trolling You's an AD carry main actually. I know he plays top. I want to say he plays AD. 80's not too hard. I'm sure he'll pick it up just fine. I am
Well,
interested to see what AD carry they pair with Rel though, with a lot of ADs taken off the board. Jen and Misfortune.
yeah, and he's living up to his name, trolling us, pretending he's a mid. Last ban coming through from Art of War. It's been top and AD carry from what team? A top lane for Art of War. Will they also match the AD carry? Both these teams haven't drafted their AD carries. If this Trundle is top, they've kind of both matched up with what they're going against. Both teams seem to, though, be banning, assuming that their opponents, Udyr and Trundle, are indeed junglers for this game. I don't know. I think that's a top Udyr myself. Udyr is such a strong champion in the top lane right now, especially with Phoenix stance. I know it got nerfed, but I still think it's pretty effective.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's really strong, and I think we're gonna see a Vi coming out. Total Trash loves Vi. It is open. I don't think it fits anything super well, but it doesn't stand out in a comp either, and it's his comfort pick. And then we see a Caitlyn on Turtle of Doom. Turtle of Doom's been having a pretty good season on Caitlyn, and Caitlyn Brahm's a really strong win as well.
Yeah, so Art of War, their last two picks, AD carry, possibly jungle, maybe top, depending where this Udyr goes. They are taking their time. It's gonna be
Vayne.
a
Okay.
Vayne.
Yeah, that matchup's not as bad as it used to be. Caitlyn definitely outranges Vayne. You can win trades pretty easily if you play Vayne correctly. And I think Vayne at level 6, Caitlyn has a really difficult time matching the amount of damage done unless Caitlyn positions very well. Now, Braum does solve that a good bit, but I think Vayne's a good pick. And I'm going to trust in Sword Blue. I know he has infinite knowledge, and the comp doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it doesn't look bad. And Sejuani locked in as well, so that is a tanky team for Vayne.
Yeah, and even better with the Vayne. Kind of counters the Trundle a bit too, because Trundle, he's going to try to rip the stats from Udyr and Sejuani and Rel, but they're not going to matter with Vayne. The 3-hit true damage passive, you get Kraken Slayer to add even more, can easily shred right through and make those resistances basically worthless. So I understand the pick. The laning phase, I think, will be the problem here, but Wet, one last pick, and it is the
Okay.
Cho'Gath coming in for pancakes.
And it's almost a perfectly blue team. Vladimir had to ruin it. I like Cho'Gath. I don't think Cho'Gath's bad. I think Cho'Gath's gonna have an issue into Vayne though. I love the pick, but I don't like it when Vayne's on the table with such a beefy front line. So now it's pretty much essentially on Vladimir to have access to the Vayne, and it's gonna mostly rely on summoners, assuming Trolling You positions properly, because they don't have a lot of ways to really get past that beefy front line.
Indeed. And I'm, looking at both these compositions, I agree. I think that Wet Teams is going to have such a hard time, especially with all that CC. You've got the slow on the Phoenix from stance from Udyr. You've got the ult from Sejuani to help disengage. You got Rel. It's going to be hard to get there, but Wet Team, they still have a chance. They've got the positioning. They've got the tools. Can they make it work? So we're getting live onto the Rift. Aw versus Wet Team, 7-4 versus 4-7. Let's see who takes it today.
That's a jungle Udyr. It is Sejuani top, Udyr jungle. So we were both wrong on the top lane. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's bad. I think Udyr is probably a better matchup into Trundle than Sejuani is, and I have a feeling they were going to flex it regardless. I like it. I like that.
I agree. And I think it does indeed do better. Trundle can't steal as much statting from Total Trash as what he could if he was on Sejuani as opposed to Udyr. You also, most Udyrs aren't building AD, so that doesn't matter. That Q build is basically non-existent. I haven't seen an Udyr level Q since the rework. It's just about the Phoenix stance. It's so powerful, especially once you get that demonic embrace. So the Q from Trundle isn't really going to get a lot out of it. It's going to be pretty ineffective, I think. But we will see. He is actually starting the Q. Wow, that's the first I've seen that in a long time.
I think he heard you saying it and he wanted to prove you wrong. I haven't played the new Udyr since he got reworked, so I'm not entirely sure what the optimal way to clear is. Maybe jungle is different than top. I do know the Phoenix dance is very frustrating to play against though, so I'm hoping to see that come out soon.
I am too. It's so powerful, even with the nerfs, but I could see the Q also being an effective tool. I've heard Bork Udyr is something like rushing Bork is something pretty effective with him if you max Q first. So that could be an option he's going in, makes him impossible to duel, which could be very difficult then for Trundle to be able to make effective plays around the map. It allows him to counter jungle him more effectively because he can just duel him. So that could be the route they decide to go with as Deke is going on to Bacon. Bacon gonna knock him up though, chasing him down. There isn't any mana though on this Cho'Gath, so he's got to be careful. Both getting pretty low up there.
Yeah, they're just kind of beating each other to death like top laners do, right? Top laners see each other, they ignore the CS, and they just run straight at each other to see you can stat check each other first. There are several times I've been playing. We had some scrims in level 1, and our top laners would just die like before minions spawn. It's just a very top lane thing. And we have some action mid lane.
We do. Guilty going on to Charu, but Pandorum is here. Fight's kind of going on around the map. Guilty getting chased by Pandorum up into their red side jungle, but I think he's going to get out of that pretty scot-free. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane over here, we do see the lane going about even, actually a little bit of a lead right now for the Vayne, up 1 CS.
Yeah, so, on Vayne, you want Caitlyn to shove because you're going to be a lot safer under tower farming. You're going to lose a little bit of early plate pressure, like you're going to lose a plate or two. But right where Vayne is, you can't zone any CS off. Caitlyn and Braum should be standing in front of the wave and trying to last hit while getting off harass versus just shoving into tower and leaving because Vayne's early game weakness is neutralized.
Dekus, Pandorum is here trying to slow him down. Can't slow the Sejuani though. The passive is up. So not very effective. Doesn't even force anything out. Doesn't have flash. Good attempt.
Yeah, and Udyr grabs Crab. He's full clear his jungle. Looks like he's going to invade Raptors. One thing we didn't talk about is Udyr's going to have a significantly easier time clearing camps than Trundle is for a good portion of the game. So unless Trundle gets some early ganks off or a lot of pressure, Udyr is just going to be significantly farther ahead in XP and gold for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit before Trundle can catch up. Trundle also not the fastest clear comparatively, especially when Phoenix stance is up, the electric chain from the Q. As Deke gets going on to Pancakes. Pancakes forced out, not able to really dive him, not tanky enough quite yet. Only a tier in pocket. 400 gold lead though, currently sitting for Art of War. And ooh, that was gonna be a bigger burst in the mid lane.
Yeah, Guilty's playing the lane really well actually. Vlad's used both of his health potions, not the end of the world, but LeBlanc's getting pretty consistent damage out and is finding the combos. I didn't really expect it. I mean, I expected it to be pretty even, but I'd say LeBlanc's mildly winning the lane at the moment.
I would agree with that too. Being able to push in the Vlad, you're getting him solo. The Ignite coming through. Charo drops the Penguin, and he's going to go down. Guilty picking up first blood there in the mid lane.
And that was really clean. Guilty got the exact amount of damage off. I think that was the last tick of Ignite. One auto attack gets him. Charo just throwing up the the cute little penguin. Oops, I'm dead. Time to go back to base.
That cute little penguin has cost him his life. Now Dekus going in on to Bacon Pancakes. Getting him just kind of trading back and forth. These two have been just kind of going at it, playing very on the edge. I'd feel like their health bars have been getting pretty low in these trades, but no one backing down quite yet.
Yeah, and they both have grasp, and with the amount of trading they're doing, they're going to come out of the lane in 15 minutes with like 4,000 health. I feel like they won't stop punching each other. It's very fun to watch. Eventually, someone's going to do something, but right now they're just happy hitting each other.
And speaking of doing something, Pandorum looking to do something down here in the bottom lane. Getting ready to gank. Udyr is here, though. Trundle going around for the flank, looking for something on this bottom side. Dekus, though, dueling Panda up here. But Trollzing and Oriri spot out the gank. Get out scot-free.
And Total Trash hasn't backed yet and is up 30 CS at 6 minutes in the jungle. Which is pretty significant, I'd say. He's a big Udyr at the moment. Looks like they're just going to grab Dragon, though. That's a good play. You have bot pressure. Your mid doesn't have prio, but jungler hasn't backed. Vayne can't really respond. I think it's just a good pickup.
Yeah, and with no back yet, Udyr doesn't really have a lot he can do here. There is a pickaxe on the Trundle, but he does go in, gets the stun onto the Braum. Once Week has been engaged, and there are 4 people here. They're going in. Art of War finds 1. They find Turtle of Doom on the side there. They go in for Once Week, hit him too. Pandorum trying to get out, but Total Trash is just tearing him apart. A double kill going to Trollzing, and they're going to pick up the Dragon in 3 kills for that.
You were right on the LeBlanc. That is exactly what happened. LeBlanc went in. They got the stuns off. I really don't know why Vlad backed. The team was doing Dragon. If LeBlanc can't lock down, that's an okay play. But AWE noticed they had a numbers advantage, called down their mid laner, and they got everything they wanted and more. They get Dragon, no one dies, they pick up 3 kills. That's exactly what you want out of AWE. That was a really good play.
Yesterday when I cast, we saw Cowrie just have an insane game on the LeBlanc. Now Guilty having one too. It's just LeBlanc week here in the Heroic League, and we're just living it. Now up 47-46, but as soon as she backs, it's going to be terrifying. And also we're seeing Total Trash back. Hadn't backed yet. We'll see what he comes out with. Looks like is going to get the Sunfire Cape, gets the full boots, and is heading towards the Sunfire Cape.
Yeah, I just picked up a casual full boots, half an item, no problem. First back, just jungle clear and stuff. And Vayne's going towards the. You know, I can never remember the name of it, even though I played it carry. The red blood, the red mythic. I like it. I think Kraken feels a lot better, but it's definitely a much safer item.
Shield bow.
Yeah, shield bow. You know, I don't know why I said I don't build it, but.
Yeah. Speaking of not building it, Char not building himself a good position right here, going in, engaging with Guilty getting kind of low, though. That was close. He does manage to escape it. Now Oriri looking for something here. Turtle of Doom taking a lot of damage right there.
Yeah, it's those Silver Bolt procs. You get 2 autos, you Q forward, auto attack one more time. You're going to do a pretty significant amount of damage to Caitlyn. And if you miss them that... Oh.
And now Dekus going in with the ultimate onto Bacon Pancakes. Getting him solo. One hit all it's going to take. And he's going to take him down. Now Total Trash charging onto Charu. Trying to stun him up. Going to get the stun off, but not really risking it under that turret. You don't want to give that lead to a Vlad. Still, a kill over to the side of Art of War. They have played basically a perfect game at this point so far.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. You know, bot lane's ahead, top lane gets the solo kill. Your Vladimir's getting punched under the tower by Udyr, and LeBlanc has 4 KP. Every CS, CS is even in the most part. Bot lane's down a little bit, it's to be expected, but it's pretty evened out by the significant CS advantage in the jungle, which is becoming obscenely large. He's only up 1 level. I think he's about to be up 2 levels.
Yeah, and Pandorum has been spotted on the bot side. Gets a little CS for himself with that ward, but it's not going to really matter when Udyr is just almost double your CS and taking... Actually, it's right now exactly double the CS, and is just taking farm after farm. It's going to be quite a difficult champion to deal with, as Charu, so much damage from just the jump in from Guilty.
Guilty's got some quick fingers. That the QW has to come out instantly, and
Oriri just wanders forward, walks in, gets the ultimate onto 3. Turtle of Doom trying to get out of there, but here comes Total Trash, Trollzing you, manages to get a kill, goes on a killing spree. Once Week is going to walk away. Pandorum trying to ult onto the Udyr, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off. He's going to go down a double kill for Trollzing you. Art of War sniffs out the gank and turns it on its head.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trundle just stayed way too long. I mean, they knew he was there. Oriri has a fantastic 3-man ult engage. Trollzingy plays it well, doesn't even have to use exhaust. They burn both of Caitlyn's summoners, Braum exhaust, and Trundle dies also. It's hard to
And
ask for much more out of him.
they're looking for another Charu trying to duel, getting so low. Oriri going in. The flash out Charu, though, to save his skin. He knows he will die if he gets stunned. But Art of War now, they're decided their lanes aren't enough space to make plays, and they got to start making them around the map.
Yeah, when you give Oriri engage tanks, he is an absolute menace. You got to ban those. You got to put him on enchanters, and he has a chance because he plays enchanters the same way he plays engage tanks, and they die a little bit faster than Rel does. When you give him Rel or Alistar stuff like that, he's probably, I'd say, the best support in the league on champions like that.
Yeah, and he's proving it here. 1-0-4. It's got the tabbies already done. Or sorry, plated steel caps. They'll always be ninja tabbies.
How dare you?
They'll always be ninja tabbies in my heart.
No, I don't think I've heard one person say played steel caps since they came out. That was a silly decision by Riot, and I don't support it. So you know what? I'll stand in solidarity with you on that. But we do have Vayne with the shield bow finish already at 11 minutes.
Yeah, crazy lead building right here. Now Guilty going for Charu.
Oh,
managed to get the
Charu's
stun,
dead
the ignite again. Guilty with the solo onto Charu.
And Charu popped Ghost right there as well. You hate to see it. Great play out of Guilty. Just really heads up, knows his damage windows, knows when he can get kills. And LeBlanc's going to be able to start roaming very soon. Once Ludens is completed, a W should clear the casters. And at this point, it might be able to clear most of the melee minions. It's pretty early. At the worst, Vlad can't match the shove, and you're going to see LeBlanc roaming down bot a lot more.
Yeah, has been very effective in this. I agree. I think we will start seeing her roam. I would like to point out, though, the lead for Total Trash, while it's all going on, has now ballooned to 50 CS.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think the Tiamat's going to help a little bit, but it's a little too late at this point. Udyr's not going to slow down. Trundle's just going to be playing a permanent game of catch-up, and it's not going to feel great.
This is going to be playing from behind all game as Deakus and Pancakes just
is in a bad spot.
Yeah, Bacon Pancakes is getting so low, trying to run away, trying to get those Qs, is missing them all. Deakus just smacking him down, and he's going to pick him up. The wet noodle fight comes to an end now. 1Sweet coming into mid, but Total Trash is here to stun him up too. They're chasing him down. Here comes the Phoenix Stand. Guilty going in onto 1Sweet. The ult coming out from the Braum is not going to be enough. The shield trying to keep him alive, and he's going to make it with just a sliver of health. The potion keeps him in it. As they don't get the kill, but they've definitely put some pressure there in the mid. And now Pandorum chasing onto Deakus. Can't duel quite yet. Can't under the turret, but he's still doing the
if he stays
damage.
Out of turret range.
Ooh, but here comes the ultimate from the Trundle. Deakus getting very low. Got to run away. The flash forward with a stun. Pandorum looking for it. He's going to pick it up. He's going to get a shutdown and end the chance of a perfect game for Art of War.
That's what you need to do, right? You got to find picks at this point. There's no way they're going to win a 5v5. You got to find people overextending. You got to find pockets of vision, and you have to try to kind of claw your way back a little bit. And that is what Pandorum did. It was a good counter gank, I guess. Not even counter gank, just a good place to be. Cut Sejuani out and got a nice little shutdown gold for himself.
And now the Trundle's got to be the factor this team needs to get back into the game. They've got to slowly start climbing back to it. Vlad still can be a threat. Same with Cho'Gath, same with Caitlyn. They just need time to scale. But will they get that time? A kill does slow down the pace. The shutdown will slow the pace down a bit. This gets Merc Treads and a long sword out of it. So not the huge, finishing a mythic item or legendary item that you would hope you would get out of something like that.
Yeah,
but still,
definitely
getting him back in this game.
And I like the wards from Team Wet on the bot side river. They know LeBlanc's main goal at this point is to try to just start roaming. They have very, very strong ward coverage, both in the jungle for an Udyr kind of engage, and then LeBlanc walking down is going to have to clear a pink ward and walk over a red ward before they can effectively roam. I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's good to keep track. If you can keep track of the LeBlanc, you know where she's at. Should be fine, though. Guess doesn't need to roam that much if she can just wail onto Charu. Good burst.
Sejuani and Udyr are doing something. They're up to no good together. Okay, no. They were just walking through the jungle.
There they are. They're just clearing out camps. They know the Trundle isn't on this side of the map. Might as well just take them get some XP. I've seen the Udyr, I'm seeing the AP coming out. I'm pretty sure he's going to max Phoenix stance. It's kind of hard to tell, even with the rework, the ultimate skin, it's not as easy to see the evolutions until the final level, so it's hard to tell what he is maxing first. But I would assume since he's going AP, he is going for the Phoenix stance. As now Bacon and Deakus continue their duel. Deakus, almost all of his damage is coming from the W, just whipping at him.
Yeah, Deakus is playing very, very well. I'd say he's had some ups and downs off of his main comfort champions, and he's looking very, very, very good on Sejuani today.
He is indeed up now, currently 6 CS. Not a massive lead, but still a pretty good lead nonetheless. Is now Guilty going back in onto Charo, half-healthing him again. Charo just has no answer to Guilty's aggression, it feels like.
Charo's going to die, too. LeBlanc has ult up. W's going to get in 5 or 6 seconds. If Charo doesn't back, LeBlanc can die pretty easily. Yeah, he's just in the back. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, nope. He decided not to back. He is going to cut the back off. Warning pings coming through. Suspicion from Guilty. Something must be up. They don't spot the Trundle. Pandorum, though, is on the top side. So not really much he can do right now.
Yeah, the game's kind of slowed down a little bit. I think the next objective is Second Herald coming up, along with the third Dragon of the game at 17 minutes-ish. Mountain Dragon, it's going to be pretty gross on Sejuani, Udyr, and Rel if they get that. It's also going to be pretty gross on Braum, Trundle, and Cho'Gath if they can get that as well. I don't see Wet being able to realistically contest it, but they might be able to get a pick ahead of time and kind of make it easier to get. But Char's got to back if they want to have a shot at getting it. They're going to have to let the first tower go down.
Char's been trying to prevent it from going down. Gets the big heal off, but the root does come through. Pandorum is here looking for him. Char going to go in, though. Guilty is going to take him out and flash over the wall to safety.
They might be able to pick him up.
They might be able to, indeed. Pandorum and Once Week are on the hunt. They are currently looking for Guilty, but they cannot find him. Guilty gonna get out with the steal kill. And now total trashed here on the bottom side. Turtle of Doom, Once Week, and Pandorum are hunting him down. Wet team trying to get signed, but they're not going to be able to find it.
Top battle.
Yep. Wet noodle fight continue. Round 44 coming up right here.
Man, I'm going to blame Cowrie for all the LeBlanc. I mean, LeBlanc's fan. I love watching LeBlanc. I think it's one of the most interesting champions to watch mid lane, but it's not too fun when LeBlanc gets 3 kills, right? Nobody on the other team gets to have a good time. You're just scared. Try to chase her. Her W's up every 8 seconds. It's just a little terror. Cowrie, this is your fault. You did this to everybody. You have to apologize to Char after the game. But,
I agree. Now,
I hope he's looking really good.
Yeah, Art of War roaming up here towards Bacon and Pandorum, who were on that Herald, and now Deakus manages to get the ult onto Pandorum. He ignited him, he's chasing him down, but he's gonna manage to get out. Bacon gonna just walk away. Art of War pushes Wet Team off of the Herald and starts it up themselves.
Yeah, they
everyone
grab Dragon,
is here.
They catch everybody off on...
Oh, Guilty looking for Turtle of Doom. Manages to get the ignite, the flash from Turtle. It's not gonna matter. Guilty goes on a rampage.
Feels bad, man. That's why you can't really build Kraken on Caitlyn when there's an assassin. It feels like lethal tempo Kraken feels great in team fights when you actually get to use it, but Gale Force is a tool I feel is almost necessary for repositioning on Caitlyn, unless you are just the best Caitlyn that's ever lived.
Sure.
Because that happens. You have Gale Force, you can get out of the E, you can dodge it. With Kraken, you feel bad, you get a free back to base, and enemy team gets Herald.
And a big shout out to our observers showing Cho'Gath at 7 stacks. Bacon, despite his struggles, is still up in CS, is still managing to keep relatively even with items. Bacon, Guilty finds Pandorum, but Bacon is here. You don't want to mess with the Bacon. But you do want to mess with his Charo as they do catch him out. Trolling you find him Guilty going into him. Going to try to lock him up. Going to stun him up. They're going in. Oriri goes in. The pool comes out, but they are in. Oriri may have gone too far. The 3-man ultimate coming through the stun as well. Trolling you looking for some targets, but Bacon's got such a big health bar, and they're all getting quite a bit injured, especially with Baron coming up. They decide to back it off and just head to Baron.
I think they might just try to go for it. Vlad burned his ultimate, and that's the only thing they're realistically going to be afraid of at this point. So, yeah, I don't even think they know they're going for Baron. I don't think they do. This is a 20-minute, almost on the dot Baron, like 3 or 4 seconds after.
Art of War. They're going to steal
Yeah,
it. No
it's
one
gone.
suspects anything. It is going to get taken. Art of War sneaks the Baron 20 minutes and 22 seconds into the game.
You know, even if they knew, I'm not sure there's anything they could have done about it. And it sounds weird at 20 minutes for like to have an uncontestable Baron, but the gold deficit's pretty big, and your main damage at this point is just going to be Vlad ultimate, and it was down. You know, that was a really heads up play by AWE. Grab it. I think Sejuani's going to pick a bot tower very shortly. They're going to have 3 mid, and I think they might just have Udyr split top, to be honest.
I think they will too. It's just clearing out the Gromp right now, but just needs to wait for the wave to get closer to him and just roll it down. Maxing Phoenix stance, you're gonna always get that big trade, and I think it is okay. So the way you can tell with this skin which form, okay, so he did max it first. The way you can usually tell is that his hair gets like Super Saiyan. So like if you look at it, okay, he looks like he's gone Super Saiyan almost. Yeah, it's more apparent in the Ram stance, or what's it's Boar stance. Sorry. No, it is Ram stance. It is Ram stance. Yes, Blazing Stampede. Thank you. I always think of it just like I think of it with the old Udyr, where you just name the stances after whatever animal it was, and now it's like, okay, it's Anivia stance, it's Orange stance, it's Volibear stance, and then it's Boar stance.
Yeah, I haven't learned a thing about him. I honestly didn't know they changed the ability names. I thought they just changed kind of what they did. It makes more sense they changed everything. So I'm learning along with you. It feels good to learn. Feels great. New information's always fun and scary, right? I feel terrified. I feel old. I'm out of touch.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
And it looks like there's another half battle going on right here between One Sweep and Oriri, and I think it's going to amount to nothing. But
it's not going to get much out of it. One Sweep isn't really able to trade him, especially with Trolls and you. Everyone's kind of terrified of the 4-0 and 1 Vayne right now. She's got the Gwynsus, got the shield bow. It's pretty scary right now, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's a spooky build. It does a lot of damage. There's a lot of safety, and I don't think anybody's at the point of the game where they can one-shot the Vayne, which, is you kind of have to. And if they do one-shot the Vayne, Trolls and you did something terribly, terribly wrong and should be punished for it. But Trolls and you's been having a great game. He's usually a top lane player, AD carry, picks up 4 kills on the Vayne in a not-so-easy lane, and, AWE's just looking really strong. They got the bot tower. They're setting up for Mountain Soul at 23 minutes. Vlad's not going to be able to walk down in time. It's going to be a 5v4, and they're just going to pick it up.
Yeah, this is one of the fastest souls I think we've seen this season coming out of Art of War. This team has looked so strong. It's them and RLS. These two teams have been at the top of the standing since the season started. They've been monsters. And I'm just so excited when we get to see them play each other again. It's always such a treat, especially in this back half of the season, as Art of War is currently on the warpath to victory. It's not guaranteed yet, but they do have a 9,000 goal lead. They do have Mountain Soul, and they are in a pretty good position right now to close this game out.
I will say that as a member of Washed, we have lost a game where we had Soul at 23 minutes. So there was a chance that the enemy team gets Elder 3 times and you just lose. I don't think that AWE is going to make the same mistakes we do because they have brains and we just have hands. But there's always a chance.
You might say your brains are washed up.
Yeah, our brains are a little washed up.
I'm sorry, the dad joke's got to come through. I'm getting to that age. Speaking of age, this game is starting to get this play from Charu is starting to get a little old. From Guilty, walk forward, hit Charu, walk away. Charu getting half health right now, not happening, but he keeps doing. We keep seeing him just walk forward and just like half health Charu and force him out. Yeah, Charu realizing, I think, if you just stick with the team here. Oh wait, doesn't matter. Pandorum's decided the lesson hasn't been learned. Almost gets one shot by Guilty, is forced to flash the wall to get out, and Art of War now closing in on the base. Bacon trying to hold the top lane, manages to clear the wave, but the mid lane is pretty terrifying. Guilty goes over onto Charu. I
think the only thing you can do to counter the LeBlanc at this point is just have Cho'Gath sit on everybody and try to time silence perfectly and burst LeBlanc before anything happens.
Yeah.
Oriri with a 5-man ult.
Oriri going in, they're going to try to grab them. Bacon manages to grab Oriri, but the ult did come through. They managed to pick up one. The Udyr does go down. And now it is a turnaround here. The Caitlyn managing to grab the Sejuani. This is turned into a disaster for Art of War. Trolling You trying to take out Charu. Charu getting so low. Trolling You looking forward, but Guilty going in. Trying to get the kills. Is that the real Guilty?
That's the wrong Guilty.
It is the wrong Guilty, but does manage to save Trolling You's life. That was such a hectic fight.
That was messy on AWE's part. That was a really good engage from Oriri, but the rest of the team thought they were Rel too, and they all went under tower into Vlad. Like, watch. All right, so Oriri goes in, gets a 5-man, fantastic. Dekus goes in, perfectly fine. Total Trash goes in, perfectly fine. Trolling You also goes right into the exact same spot. Guilty's playing in the right spot, but everybody else wants to take Vlad ult for free. Can't do that under tower. They kind of boofed it.
It did indeed boof it. Guilty not dying to that all. The shield coming in big there to save both their lives. But you know that we were talking about needing to scale up. You know, that's how you get to that scaling point. Those kind of mistakes, allowing the opponent back in, giving Wet Team the opportunity to get their champions, that Vladimir, that Caitlyn, that Shogath to their scaling breakpoints. And now look at the items. Look at all the stuff they're just picking up, all those shutdowns.
Yeah, that's got to feel really good. That's, you know, there's not much more you can ask for. That was better than anything I expected. I thought even with kind of the scuffed engage from the rest of the team that they were just going to ace them anyways. Turtle of Doom took almost no damage, positioned very well. Bacon Pancakes is a tanky boy, and Vayne could not get any real damage off, and, you know, they just cleaned up. Vlad's going to become more and more of a problem as items come in. That was just a 1-item Vlad. You know, imagine Vlad had 2.5, 3 items. The fight ends a lot sooner. So I think AWE is still in a position to win very comfortably. They just can't really do that again, or it gets very awkward.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Can't allow those kind of mistakes to continue. But another Baron startup for the side of Art of War. I think Wet Team spots it, but Turtle of Doom just gets nuked by Guilty. My God.
Guilty got his revenge on the clone kill.
Yeah, you killed my clone. Prepare to die. I am Guilty Montoya.
That's one of those things where you're at your monitor and you jump for a second, right? Like just out of nowhere. Oh my God. Spooked me.
Yeah, spooked indeed. And now second Baron going over to the side of Art of War at only 26 minutes in. They are just like clockwork on these things without an 80 carry for 10 seconds. I don't think it's going to be enough to push down this mid turret, but they are going to get some pressure. Guilty splitting the top side. Dekus coming to join his team.
All right, let's see if they're more patient with this.
Yeah, they've got to be more patient. Oriri gets the knock up. They're looking for it. All 5 members of Wet Team are here. They've got Art of War's got to be careful. They do not have their LeBlanc yet. She's up there split pushing.
I think they just have to wait as 4 here, get the cannon minions to start attacking the towers, maybe try to get 1 or 2 autos in when it's safe, and just have LeBlanc have 2 people answer because 1 person can't hold. So right now they're in a lot better position to try to push this tower down. And I think they're just going to do that.
They are indeed. They're just getting so much damage. They tear it up. The first inhibitor is cracked. The ultimate coming out from Oriri manages to hit 2. They stun him up. Everyone going down. Pandorum trying to get out, but this gets rolled by Trolling You. Takes him down. Bacon trying to run as well, and also gives up his life. Double kill going over to Trolling You. Inhibitor falling too. Art of War making the push towards the end of the game. Can Wet Team stop it here? Can they find the point? There is no ultimate on the Vladimir once we gets caught up, and he goes down. Turtle of Doom as well, and that's gonna be him going down to Dekus. That might be the game. They managed to get the return kill onto Dekus, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Trolling You. Charu just standing there, just accepts his death.
Poor Charu. Yep. All right.
Yep,
I felt that before.
Yeah, Art of War managing in a very dominating fashion to take our first game of the day.
Yeah, they looked amazing. Trolling You. I mean, shout out him. You know, filled in 80 carry, picked Vayne, just came in, did his thing. Gonna dip next week. So good job, man. Everybody on the team looked amazing. I think they played their comp perfectly well. LeBlanc really, really outplayed Vladimir, to be honest. There was a huge difference in overall damage, as you can see. 27k on LeBlanc. Highest in the game by 10,000. Very gross. Everyone else, Sejuani did 17,000, just beating Cho'Gath to death. And to be honest, Bacon Pancakes didn't have a bad game, but it's just everyone on AWE had a good game. And they looked really good.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was like it wasn't a terrible performance from Wet Team. They did have that fantastic turnaround in the fight around the turret, but it was just Art of War playing so fantastically, so on point, especially Guilty here. 13 KDA on the LeBlanc. Not calorie level of dominance, but still, I'd argue pretty
Calorie
dominant
light.
this game.
Yeah, calorie light.
Yeah, calorie light.
I do think that people need to probably start trying to plan around banning out heavy farm junglers for Trundle. We saw this kind of last week, or either yesterday or last week, where there was a Hecarim versus a Trundle, and Hecarim was just up a significant amount of CS because you can't match that early game to mid game farming. And if you don't get a lot of ganks off, Trundle becomes almost useless. So I think teams are going to have to start rethinking how they use Trundle.
I think so too. And I think they're also going to have to keep an eye out for LeBlanc. We now have had 2 dominating LeBlanc games. Can we see a third later?
Hey, we'll find LeBlanc. Let me know. Type in chat.
Let us know in the chat. Well, that's going to do it from us. Don't go anywhere. We've got an interview with a member of the winning team coming up right after this.
Hello friends, welcome for our first interview today. Another day of heroic. We're joined this time by Total Trash, victorious with Art of War Esports. How you feeling?
Dude, feeling real good, man. Had a really good game. You know, stomping on the other players like usual. That's what we're here for.
Let's start with the draft. I think the thing that we have touched on, Guilty was a monster in this game, but overall we've been seeing an uptick in the LeBlanc play here in Friend or Foe. So that's a big thing I wanted to ask you about in your draft. Of course, Rel did just get buffed in this patch, but paired with the Vayne into the Caitlyn, You guys, I think you picked the Vayne first, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the draft on the top of my head, but just talk to me a little bit about how this draft developed, especially you're on the new deer, and then you put Sedge in the top lane. What are your thoughts on this draft?
Yeah, so for draft, we wanted to pick Udyr, so we knew we had first pick, so we banned the Hecarim out, and then we planned on first picking Udyr. They didn't ban it, that came through. After that, they locked in Trundle and their mid laner Vladimir, so we just went ahead and locked in LeBlanc, because Guilty felt like he could pressure the lane with LeBlanc into Charu. He wanted me to specifically say how bad Charu is and that he's the #1 mid laner here, so he just wanted me to call that out, and this game kind of proved that. And then besides that, though, once we locked in those three, and then the Rel got locked in. After that, it was like, okay, we have an early game comp here. We need to make sure we're getting scaling in. So our last 2 picks were kind of for a little bit more of scaling. So the Vayne, and then the Sejuani just for the CC to protect the Vayne is kind of what we were thinking there. The Trundle pick kind of scared us, not going to lie, into 3 tanks. But I was able to kind of push the advantage. He had a couple failed ganks, which allowed me to get an XP advantage, and still a lot of XP from him in the jungle.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit then, if you would, because yeah, as you touched on there, you had your opportunities on the new Udyr. You're flashing the Spirit Guard Udyr with the fancy looking updated skin, looking good, looking fresh out there. Talk to me, if you would, about how you folks had a dominating win in this game. What was it like for you in the early game, getting off to such a good start?
Yeah, so we had the LeBlanc had prio in lane, and even top lane had prio. Bot lane was pretty even. We didn't expect that. We honestly thought Caitlyn Braum was going to kind of bully the Vayne Rel early. It wasn't as bad as we thought, which allowed me to kind of counter jungle a lot, just with the fact that, again, we saw Trundle up top a lot with just some failed ganks in mid as well. And we kind of tracked the Trundle pretty well between all the lanes communicating, which just allowed me to be on the opposite side of the map taking his jungle. The new Udyr felt real good. The dance emote in the beginning, fucking excellent. So yeah, we were real happy with the pick.
Hell yeah. I mean, overall, this game, dominating performance all around. You, of course, ended up with the goose egg in your kill column, but that's okay. One of the more important plays that I felt was this decisive 20-minute Baron call. From the observer perspective for the stream, we could tell that there wasn't any direct vision for them onto the Baron. So you folks were on the Baron, you're taking it, but you had just been in their top jungle. So all of my instincts say that they knew what was going on there. What were your folks' thoughts on making this call, and what were the comms like?
Yeah, so Ariri made the call about I want to say it was like a minute 10 out from Baron spawning. We knew we were pretty far ahead, and we had a really good 20-minute Baron comp just with Vayne Udyr. Has a lot of damage onto Baron, so we knew we had the damage to take Baron quickly. And then we had kind of set we were going to do it anyway, but then that top fight, while we didn't get any kills, we did blow a lot of ultimates. So we knew that after we had that fight in the top side jungle.
The Vlad ult was big there as well as.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vlad and the Braum ult was the other one. So with both of those ults down, we felt confident that we could win the fight, even if we had to turn from Baron. We knew we had cleared vision, so we knew they didn't have vision of the Baron, and so they would have to walk in blind regardless. So we just committed to that 20-minute Baron. Like I said, the Vayne Udyr takes Baron super quick, and that's why we chose to go for it.
Well, total trash, a full domination from Art of War today. Before we step away, though, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us? Any shoutouts, any banter you didn't have an opportunity for?
Yeah, so I just want to say, yesterday Guilty inted us 2 kills early, so just ignore that. He was playing on 300 ping, so just understand, although Guilty is, not as good as people think he is, kind of trash, that's why he gave kills, so we're not as bad as Guilty made us look yesterday. And then the last thing I want to follow up with is just RLS. We got to hit on RLS. A bunch of betas over there getting a Riri to, follow in on his feminine side and let them have that win instead of the replay. So I just want to call RLS out, let him know that next time we play him, we're going to be dumpster him just like we did to Wash today.
God damn. Well, with that, folks, we're going to leave it there. Game 1 in the books. The gauntlet has been thrown down against RLS. We're going to take a break. We have Game 2 coming up with RLS.